Okay. It's going to live stream us now.
There we go. Hello, everyone.
Oh, is it on? Am I
It
doing
says
it
it
twice? Okay, cool. Technical difficulties. Sorry, friends. We don't do live much, so it's hard to
get it going. We thought we were going live 2 times already, so.
Is it still there? Are we good?
It says it's there.
Okay, good. I can't watch it on my computer because then I hear us talking and it's like got a delay. It's goofy. Right. So there we are. Okay. So now I can see comments if they come up. Hopefully you can watch them too, Anne. Yep. So sorry, guys, for the beautiful professional awesomeness that is happening. We don't do this enough to, But hey, thanks for joining us this morning. We are live because I completed another trip around the sun this week. So I was busy. And
Mother's Day.
And with Mother's Day, my life was a little crazy. So,
and the bicentenary of Napoleon's death. It's a big week.
And of course, that's something you would know, which I have no idea. So in case anybody was wondering, I got this mug for my birthday and it says, I'm the best mom ever. So there you go.
There you go.
I win.
Can't compete.
My phone is still talking. I thought I heard a feedback. It's because there was volume on the phone stream. I think we're all set now.
Okay.
But So what's new with you, Anne? Are you knitting? Have you worked on anything this week?
I am knitting. I have, once I can dig it out. Oh, and now it's inside out. 1 second. Because I finished the sleeves of my sweater this week.
Ooh. Well, why aren't you wearing it?
Because I haven't done the collar yet.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I was weaving in ends yesterday. But ta-da! It is a sweater with sleeves.
I like it.
Bet you never seen that before, have you?
Not out of this house, so I'm impressed.
But yeah, so sleeves are done. Stripes are appropriate length. Collar will come in sometime.
Get it done. Wear it next week.
Probably. I mean, it's just the collar. So that's not anything crazy. The raw edge isn't even that bad, but I think it will. The problem is that I think once I put the collar in, it will sort of bring the whole sweater in a little bit. And I wonder if that won't make my sleeves shorter. So that'll be awkward. But
isn't that what blocking's for?
Probably.
Just gotta, work that out.
Just gotta,
that's cool.
Stretch it around. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Otherwise, I have, I had like a plain knit blanket that I had set to the side lately. But I was working on that a little bit last night because, I do that.
Sometimes you need a little plain knitting to work on.
Yeah, especially since because it's a raglan collar, you can see that there's like different points. So when I do the collar, I will have to like work in decreases at those points and make sure that there's the same amount of stitches in between. So gotta make sure
good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, so it will all have to come in together evenly at the same time and all look neat, which, that's a struggle.
I can't even help you. I have no idea. But can you see if anybody's commenting, Anne? Because I don't have any going on. So you're going to have to be in charge of that. I can't find them.
Well, it's phoneception, so it's all of us.
But I have that too, but I don't have the people talking. The you know what I mean? Where did it go? Why don't I have it?
I don't know. It has been a long morning for you.
Has been. I got up at 6 and I walked 2 miles today. So
wow.
I'm all fancy. if I can keep it up though is really the thing, because I like to get up and do stuff, and then after like 4 or 5 days, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm just gonna keep sleeping. So
right.
we'll see what happens. But I have not knitted this week again at all. But oh wait, hold on. I didn't just pick that up to hold it. I have been crocheting, and so my friend, look at
that is adorable.
It's my own pattern. I am going to make my first crochet pattern. Mm-hmm. So I have to redo it again because I like took notes, but I really want to make sure it's right. And like this last ball, because it's offset, was done separately, and I want to write the pattern so that it is continued on like the rest of it. So I have to do a little bit more with that.
Right.
But we have a neighbor that always brings my kids stuff. Like on Christmas, we'll come home and there'll be a present on the doorstep. And so she just had her daughter just had a baby. So I figured like little baby toy, super fun, cute, whatever. So I'm going to make a pattern for this. And then that same neighbor has a older grandson. So this is going to be a dinosaur. I had to stop because I can't find my eyeballs. Like I have all the eyeballs that you snap in and I can't find them. It's like it's not a dinosaur. He's like got a little dome head and he has a big tail that comes off of him. And he, so this is the top of his head right here. Okay. His face will go here. A little weird looking, but it's cute when it's done. So that's what I was doing. And did I knit? I was knitting a little bit earlier in the week, but then I got distracted and then I started thinking about crocheting. And so now I have all different things happening. But that's what's going on. And I called my tech editor this morning because I said, hey, can you actually do crochet patterns or do I need to find someone else?
Right.
And she says she can, which is fun. But she's also where I get a lot of my news. Like she runs a website that I'm on that's all conservative people, and it's every day she sends out a news update. And so I called her this morning. I said, so what can you tell me about the audit in Arizona? Because I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't seen anything. But she said that it's going to take like months. I didn't realize it was going to go on that long.
Right.
Did you?
Not exactly, though. It doesn't surprise me. I know that there's been a lot of pushback from Arizona Democrats, and yes, we're doing that. No, we're doing that. And what we're finding already is concerning, and all of it.
Yes, she mentioned something, and like this is all secondhand, so if I'm wrong, sorry. But she said that because the chain of custody wasn't maintained, like the whole time since the election, that actually their results could just be crap and we could have to redo it.
Right.
Which I didn't know either. So it was kind of interesting. But that's what I know about that. And so because of what's going on in Arizona now, it looks like Georgia might do it. There's definitely looking into having some in New Hampshire. And so I was talking to her and I'm like, so what does this mean? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, good. That's encouraging. Because she usually has an answer for everything. So the fact that she's like,
well,
great. That's all we need.
But I mean, considering, okay, so that it's so late is, annoying and everything else. But that people are still pushing through, no, we will look at this is awesome. This isn't just going to slide off the sort of public consciousness. No, we're going to take a hard look at what happened.
Right. And the fact that they're pushing so hard from the get-go to not let this come out is really telling also. Like, if we didn't have anything to hide, it's like when I ask one of my kids, like, did you do this? And they've got like their hands behind their back and they're like, no. Well, I know I need to look behind their back. So the fact that the Democrats are stopping and trying to argue and stuff makes me know that we need to keep looking into it, because they're just like kids. Like, yeah. And you're telling me what you're doing by what you're doing. So,
I mean, seriously, the endless investigations that they've run for the past years, and then the Republicans want an investigation. They're like, that's not allowed. It's like,
Yes. And
sorry.
Well,
how many millions have we thrown their way for Russia?
Exactly. It's the Russia thing all over again. It's nonsense, for real. I don't even know. I was trying to figure out how to make this. I still want to find the comments. on our YouTube channel, and I can't find them. I'm sorry, guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd say the comments are pretty busy. Like, sorry, guys, because I, have to keep my eyes on a swivel to kind of read a little bit, and I don't want to be totally distracted from the conversation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So thanks for joining us. We're probably not going to read most of the comments because I can't read them, and Anne's not a multitasker. So sorry.
Love you all anyways.
Yeah, so I need to get more info on the audit, because it's just giant red flags that they don't want us to know about it, and that they're fighting so hard, and that, it's kind of like the Biden laptop. Like, what do we got to hide? Why are you guys so anxious to shove all this under the covers? Like, what's going on? So what else do you have going on?
Well, I have British news. So, and I feel like this friend who just like rambles on about this, like, I'm sorry, you will hear about the British by-elections if you want to or not. I apologize. I'm sorry. I know I'm that guy, but I'm about to tell you about what happened. Anyways, the British elections are doing incredibly well. I've been talking about, the Reform Party and the Reclaim Party. So not a lot of, because they are much smaller parties, not a lot of big wins there, but the Conservatives have really knocked it out of the park. And even though Conservatives in England, for the most part, seem to be, like our rhinos in the Republican Party, that it's sort of like well, that's nice. Are you going to go do anything? But in the Hartlepool by-elections, the Conservative candidate won, from memory, 16 points above the Labour candidate.
That's pretty impressive.
That is. In Rotterdam, they have like 16, again, that number again, Conservative council members when they didn't have a 1 before, and they're still counting. A Conservative candidate named Tiger Patel won. His video was basically him walking around a ruined playground, like, hey guys.
That's cool. So it's kind of like some of the ads we saw this campaign season, where they're walking around like the crappy neighborhoods talking about what they want to change.
Right, except Tiger's video seemed to be done on an iPhone. So it wasn't well produced, but it was very like, hey, this is crap. Like, yeah, it is.
That's cool.
But yeah, so the London mayoral election, so far, okay, so I can't confirm this, but somebody said that they were using Smartmatic voting machines. And I'm like, if that's the case, that makes sense, because the election results between Sadiq Khan and Sean Bailey, who is the Conservative candidate, they are neck and neck. And they're like, I don't know about these results, guys. It might be Saturday evening. It might be Sunday morning. We'll never know. And I'm like, We've never
been here before.
Yeah, that's never happened. That's not weird. And not to mention that charming old Sadiq, He's also the guy who was mayor for 1 year longer than he was supposed to be because, coronavirus.
Oh, so they didn't have their elections when they were supposed to?
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that happened. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's extra special. But
oh, so that's what Trump was supposed to do, right? That's what everybody kept saying. Oh, he's gonna blah blah because of coronavirus. He's gonna use this as an excuse to stay in.
Yeah.
Seems to be out of the playbook of the other guys.
It's remarkable. But yeah, so and for those of you wondering, let's see, I have to do my math, that it's currently our guy Lawrence Fox is at 6th place in the
oh, he is
in the election. So
I didn't realize their election was happening so quickly. I mean, he just barely got his candidacy out there.
Right. No, elections in England are much shorter. It's not the half-year election multi-million mess.
Oh,
it
you
is
don't
in
have
America.
to watch the ads for the next, yeah. Like
right.
We're watching 2022 ads already because,
Because,
obviously.
That is so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a much shorter campaign thing. And so anyways, that's happening. And I'm just hoping that if Sadiq doesn't come in, he doesn't adopt Lawrence's stop and search policy for his own means, lining up school kids. And instead of, are you carrying a knife? It's, do you have any conservative reading materials? Like, poor kid is sitting there, his backpack open. Like, is that a copy of the Telegraph? No, it's porn, I swear. I think that's the Telegraph.
So Sadiq is not a good guy?
No.
Is that the one that's been in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's the guy who crime of all sorts has been rising under his thing. He did the low traffic neighborhoods. So you block roads off in certain neighborhoods so emergency service vehicles can't come in. And
oh, good.
Yeah, it's a really
sounds nice.
super healthy system. And then it's to cut down on traffic. So, your 5-minute drive is now a 20-minute drive and congested the whole way. So, yeah, that really helps the environment and emissions.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, because we all know that that's really what they care about.
That is true.
Not about power and glory and...
Not at all. And pretending to ride a bicycle. Yeah.
That was the funniest thing. It was so stupid and so staged. In case you guys don't know, Pete Buttigieg was caught on tape. Like, they drove his bike to somewhere and he got out and put on his helmet and pads and got on the bike and pretended he had ridden his bike the whole way to wherever they were going.
With 3 SUVs behind him for his security.
Yeah. So super saving the universe right there with his bike.
That's
and
right.
His entourage. So it makes sense if his entourage was on bikes too. I mean, then at least he could be like, hey, look we're doing our part.
He could have his bike gang. He could do a compromise and they could all ride in on Vespas. Be super cool.
Yeah. So when I was talking to my friend this morning, she told me that there's probably going to be a gas shortage this summer. I'd heard at other places too. But let me tell you, I've never been happier that we own an electric car. Although if we were in California, they can't even guarantee that you're going to have lights on there.
Right.
So then we would still be in trouble, but we haven't at least had that issue yet. I don't know. We're all going to be moving to Florida anyway. It's the only place that's got anything going on for it lately. Since the governor said that they're banning vaccine passports. Yeah. Like, it's amazing that kind of common sense is like, everybody's like, oh, wow, what a great guy. When in reality, it shouldn't even be a conversation, but
right.
At least somebody's speaking up for our side.
Right. It's like I saw in New York. It's like they've already started segregation. It's so much fun that you have on one side, if you're vaccinated, you can be full capacity and have a good time. If you're unvaccinated, it's 1/3 capacity and cattle gates for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's still great in New York. We were at our favorite brewery that we go to every Friday night last night, and a couple tables over, there was a gentleman wearing a coat with the name of the company where my mother-in-law works. So we started talking to him. He walked over to our table. He was standing at our table as if he was part of our group. And somebody who worked at the brewery came over and said, "Sir, if you're not going to have your mask on, you need to sit on a chair." They've got pub tables. Sometimes I stand at the table. If I'm standing there drinking my beer, really?
Right.
It was insane. And he just looked at her like she had an extra head, because it's not like he was standing in the middle of the aisle. He was standing at our table talking to us because we were saying, "Oh, do you know his mom?" And it was that.
Right.
It was just the strangest thing. But that's what we're at now. That same place that we love to go, they're like, "Well, because of the governor's rules, anytime you're walking around, even if you're outside, you still have to have your mask on, even if you're vaccinated." It's like, what's the point? My dad's fully vaccinated, and he has a job where he's out in the public a lot. Right. And he's like, "I am so sick of this mask. What was the point of getting my vaccine? What is this mask doing?" I mean, he sells beer. So he's in coolers half the time. Like, right. It's not like he's in there like breathing on people. The rules just don't make any sense. Yeah, sorry about the rant.
No, that's okay. I was, flipping through Instagram today, and someone talked about, "Oh yeah, it was great. We got together with friends at this public place, and then only the people who were vaccinated had lunch." I'm like, what? And then after that, she wrote some comments like, someone had said, something against that. And she's like, "Well, this is just, this is terrible, because, some people would only get together if people were vaccinated, and we have immunocompromised people. And, it's just that, it's just rude to call people Nazis." It's like, but do you see the comparison?
I called a Nazi.
Yeah.
But I can't eat lunch with you?
Yeah. I can't eat lunch with somebody who is not, whatever the correct thing is, because that would be wrong. But if you call that person a Nazi for doing that, then it's the other person's fault.
I don't get it. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. And I don't. But we all know how we feel about this. Right? And if you want to get a vaccine, I'm all up for it. Have fun. It's your choice. You can do whatever you want. But this whole like segregating people because they've had it or not had it, or I don't know. And I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
If Cuomo's Excelsior Pass really does catch on and you can't do stuff without it, we'll have to leave the state. Like, there's not going to be another choice.
Right.
So Anne, in South Dakota, is there a Excelsior Pass?
No.
So that might be a viable option then?
Not even a little.
Do you have room in your house? Do you have a spare room?
I don't have a spare room, but we can make it work.
I mean, there's 4 of us and 2 cats. I don't know if this can actually work.
Well, we'll shuffle.
No, it's getting bad though. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
No, it is. Yeah, and just so again, someone had their little Instagram post about getting a vaccine, and they said that they were crying on and off all day about how relieved they were on getting this vaccine. And look, you get your vaccine for your reasons, but it's like there's the vaccine isn't perfect. Loads of people get coronavirus after getting the vaccine and have ill side effects. And again, you weigh your risks. Like I said, I already had COVID, so it's like my risk was I got it and I lived. Okay. Mm-hmm. But and also the person who said that was from Canada. Every single time, that dog. The person who said that was from Canada. So I will admit that it's not just a problem of I'm afraid that I'll get the virus because she was fairly young, but the guilt of spreading it to other people, the guilt of come here. Come here. Come here. Yes. Hi. Anyways, the guilt of spreading it to other people is a big thing. The having to report it to everyone that you know that you have the virus. The the mental anxiety of everyone's been telling you this is the worst thing ever and now you're afraid of getting it. And also to kind of look at, how we've legislated this virus. Come here. Come here again. Come on. I'm sorry about that.
Your dog's doing that. My cat's escaping. It's chaos, I tell you.
It is. Anyways, the sort of, we've had governments around the world manage a health crisis. So they have done what government does when it doesn't want a behavior, which is make it illegal. And just like we have all of these medical research facilities, how they handle the virus, and they handle the virus just like everything else. If you don't support, breast cancer month or anything, it's a guilt thing and it's your fault. Right. And then, you have countries who have, their health service and their governments together. And instead of, how that has worked out before the virus or after, if you don't support having your government health service, then you hate your country. So it's like this weird topsy-turvy. We've seen these behaviors in low levels before, but now that it's in a larger level, that it's like, oh, well, this is all together and this is not fun.
Yeah. No, and I am. People always are like, oh, you guys are against vaccines. I've mentioned it before, but I actually have participated in a couple of research trials. I'm not against them. I think that properly handled, they can be very good and helpful. One of the trials I participated in was it's a vaccine they're making for pregnant women, to build antibodies against RSV, which is a respiratory virus that can be very, very bad for babies. Mm-hmm. I totally thought that was a great thing to work on because I had a friend whose kid was hospitalized because of that. Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not against them. This push for everybody has to have this and you can't do things and you can't, it's insane. It's just nonsense. Right. But,
and also, Jenna. Anyways, also this mentality that, there is only one disease and it's COVID and its cure is the mRNA vaccine. Yeah. Like there's no delineation. There's no, sorry, I just threw a hat at her. What?
See, guys, this is what I cut out when we aren't live. Yeah, this doesn't stay in.
I will pause the rant. I'm just gonna let her out because she's that way. One moment.
Yes, no problem.
Hey you.
Sorry, everybody. It's real life. I got a babysitter so that my kids wouldn't be bursting in, because that's another thing that happens a lot. So, this guy might be kind of cute if we made him into a little something that the baby could grab onto. I'd have to move his head though. Oh wait, no, I wouldn't. It's hard to say.
I apologize.
That's okay. I just randomly talked for a minute.
There you go.
I said, look it, wouldn't he be cute like this? Like the baby could hold on to it?
Oh, that would be cute.
I need to get a rattle. And then it would be really good. I didn't have any while I was working on it though.
It happens.
That's okay. So we talk about that horrible, horrible thing every week, and let's.
I know, but it's so pervasive.
I know it's they've made it into the only thing we can talk about practically. But
right.
Did you know?
Gosh, okay. Any sort of family or friend interaction where you haven't talked to someone for a while and they, it's the preface of, oh, I saw so-and-so the other day, but we were safe. I'm like, if you say you're safe, does that make it safe? I'm so glad that we said this. And, it's then talking about if they've got their vaccine or if it's the first or the second dose. And it's like, and let me tell you about my latest colonoscopy. I don't want to know.
No, that's exactly, dude, it's funny that you even used that example because I had a conversation with my neighbor the other day and she said to me, oh, have you gotten your vaccine? I'm like, no. She's like, well, why not? I said, because I don't want to. And she just looked at me. And in the way that they've normalized this talking about COVID and talking about vaccines, the COVID vaccine and stuff, it's like going up to somebody and saying, hey, Ann, have you had a colonoscopy? Are you like up to date on all of your screening? Like, it's not my business. I'm not going to come up to you and be like, hey, what you got going on there?
Exactly. When was the last time you had a tetanus shot or, mother shot or hepatitis or whatever? And you're like,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Like, what is happening here? And why is this okay? But I heard something. I think I was listening to Tucker. On my 2-mile walk, I try to catch up on news. And so I streamed a whole bunch of guys, a whole bunch of Rob Schmidt and another guy on Newsmax and Tucker, and I try to catch up on what's going on. But in Texas, there is a bill that they are trying to pass that is being held up by Republicans, and it's about gender reassignment for children. Children as young as 2 can have gender reassignment. Why? And why are the Republicans holding it up?
Right.
Like, there's something going on with the lobbyists that is going on.
Well,
and yes.
Again, I don't know about that bill. I do know that a little bit back that there was the transgender thing with Kristi Noem. Mm-hmm. And that it was a bill about transgender in sports. And she was against that bill, and not because that she was in transgender and she was for the transgender sports thing, but because they the way that the bill was worded, it equated it was transgender in sports and with performance enhancing drugs, which makes sense. If you're a girl and you're suddenly taking testosterone, then that definitely changes things as if you were taking performance enhancing drugs. So, but basically her argument against the bill was that it was just that we were so open to litigation that we should go about it in a different way, and that things should be rewritten, and then we should form a coalition and all of that. Right. So, and I mean, like, you can disagree with that, but I mean, the legislation could have overdone her veto and they didn't. So,
right.
So yeah, it's a back and forth thing of how exactly do you want to approach this problem? And she said that she wanted to approach it in a different way. So there is that possibility, but still it's like even puberty blocking drugs. And I saw someone's heartfelt, thing about how important puberty blocking drugs are because once you've gone through puberty, it's very hard to switch genders then. It's like, yeah, you're effectively sterilizing kids. You're thinking that if you may want your gender to be something else later, it's like, so you sterilize them and and puberty blocking drugs is a drug otherwise used for cancer patients and only it hasn't been effectively tested out of a cancer patient scenario. So it's like, so other health effects, and not mentioning the health effects that happens from hormonal changes. A lot of our bodies run on hormones, like how
Yeah.
the structures of things.
Well, and I know I've said it before, but I've got a kid who likes to pretend to be a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shall I give them something so that they grow extra hair or fur, or like it they're at an age where it doesn't make sense to be like, hey, what 2-year-old knows what gender they are?
Right.
That's the parent putting something on a kid.
Mm-hmm.
What 8-year-old? My kid that's almost 8 is the one that likes to be a cat. What
Right.
8-year-old knows what gender they want to be? They want to be a cat right now. I mean, I take pretty much anything my kids say to me along those lines with a grain of salt, because tomorrow they might be a dog or whatever.
And also that it's often, it used to be the thing where, if the girl likes to play with trucks or the boy likes to play with dolls, well, then that's okay. That's just let the kids play with whatever they want to play and don't like force gender roles. But suddenly, if the boy wants to play with dolls, well, that is a statement on his entire sexuality as a child, that because he knows what he's
it doesn't make sense. But did you see Caitlyn Jenner, who's running for governor of California now, I believe, right? Did they make it official?
I believe it's official. There was a Sean Hannity interview where they talked about it.
But Caitlyn Jenner was talking about how transgender to females should not be allowed to compete against females. And everybody is all up in arms now. Dude, if anybody knows whether or not a transgender dude, a male to female transgender should be allowed to compete against other women, it would be Caitlyn Jenner, who is an Olympian, a gold medal Olympian who knows the difference between the genders.
Who would have totally shredded the women's team.
Yeah, exactly. And so after that came out, then George Takei. So when Caitlyn transitioned, George Takei put out a tweet that said, "Oh, Caitlyn, welcome to the community. You're beautiful inside and out. We love you." And then after this came out, George Takei had this tweet that was like, "You don't know anything. We don't like you. Go away." Like, it was so totally,
and
you're a disgrace.
Right. It's like, well, and that happens with so many, identity groups where it's like, everything is wonderful. We love you. And everything you say is golden, unless you have a political or religious opinion we disagree with. Sorry.
Yeah. And then you're on your own. Good luck. Bye. See you. You're not what we want for our group. But the whole, I mean, the vaccine is just another example of how they're breaking everybody into groups.
Right.
They're taking, now it's going to be unvaccinated against vaccinated, and it's going to be maskers against non-maskers, and it's going to.
Yeah. And and also the bizarre, the bizarre bribery. It's like, oh, well, here they'll give you a donut, and there they'll give you a beer, and you gotta.
Dude, I love donuts and beer, but I'm not going to get a vaccine for one.
Exactly.
I also like McDonald's, and I heard something about that, but that's still not going to make me go and get one. I'm gonna
there's been pictures around, and Facebook, being creepy, has deleted several groups of people who had adverse side effects to different vaccines. Like, oh, well, you can't see that. Like the pictures of people who, like, their arms are just covered in blood clots. And can you imagine the poor guy who was like, yeah, I got the vaccine for a beer, and all I got were thousands of dollars in medical advances, and a hospital system who won't believe me.
It's just messed up, for real. But we're running close to an hour, Anne, but I wanted to talk about the job numbers. Did you hear about them?
I did. They suck.
So There's
and
a
they're
clip
Trump's
going,
fault.
well, obviously, dude, of course. He's also the reason that gas prices have gone up from where I am. They were $2.29, and now we're closing in on $3. Like, we're just under. So, thanks, Trump. No, it's not Trump. Why are they smoking? But I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say and this happened so much under Obama too. And just the cognitive dissonance between, hey, what, who are you going to believe? What the media tells you and your little Instagram notifications say you ought to believe, or your lying eyes.
Well, the problem is though, is that most people rely on that stuff. But there's a clip, I saw it on Instagram, and it was MSNBC or CNN Finance, or it was some leftist media group, and they were like, oh, the job numbers are just in. They just came across my desk, and the guy reads it and he goes, 266,000. And he's like, let me double check that number. And so he goes on his computer and he's like, oh, yep, the job number is 266. Like, it's so bad the guy thought it was a typo.
Right.
Because they said that it was going to be 1 million. And
and also the Biden statement about all of these people are Tucker did a segment. You have all of these people are unemployed, and then you have all of these businesses who are dying for employees. And Biden's just like, no, the reason is that they have no jobs, that there's no jobs to go to. And I mean, to a certain extent, you have like those pipeline workers that Biden laid off, that you're kind of underemployed. If you're in a very skilled profession and that job's not there, that's a problem.
right.
But you also have the number of people who the unemployment benefits are too good. Why go back to working a retail job?
Right. The unemployment benefits are too good. Like in some lower income states, they are like $12 an hour, which is a decent part-time job. And then places like California, they're closing in on like $20 an hour for staying home. But there's also a really good point that's been brought up too, is that if I'm a parent who's been laid off, and my kids aren't in school, and I'm making that money, why am I going to pay somebody to watch my kids so I can leave my house? I mean, if I was getting an unemployment benefit that was close to what I would be making, and I don't have to pay for daycare, I don't have to pay for my kids why would I leave? Why would I go? Right. What is my incentive? There isn't any. But I don't know. Yeah. And I think that I probably watched the same Tucker segment that you did, but there was also there was a restaurant owner who was on, and he said that because the rules have changed so much that, they've laid off their people, they've brought them back, they've laid them off. One of the times they laid them off, they didn't get the money they should have gotten from unemployment because it wasn't being spent properly. And so therefore people are also scared to come back, because if things get closed down again, what are they going to do? Are they going to get their unemployment? Should they just stay on it? Is it worth it to them to go to work? It's not. And then, and the prices are going to keep going up because we're just making money. We need more money. Let's print some more. Soon it's going to mean nothing.
Exactly. We're printing all of the money and sending it to everybody and then wondering why inflation is happening.
I know. No, but they say inflation's not going to happen.
I'm pretty sure someone on CNN told me that inflation wouldn't happen.
Whoever his Treasury Secretary is said that inflation's not going to happen.
Better than
I heard
CNN.
A couple of different clips of them saying, oh, no, that's not a problem. That's not good. How are you in charge of finances? I know that it's going to happen.
Right.
Like, here I am with my 2-year degree, and I can tell you what's up. But it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh. So what else, Anne?
It's some nonsense stuff.
Yes.
I don't know. But hey, news in England's good if the Conservatives do something. But anyways.
Still crap here, so we got that going for us.
Exactly.
Get your vaccine. Get a donut.
Get a donut. Whatever you do, avoid Portland if you don't want a gun shoved in your face.
Yeah. Black Lives Matter is apparently making some demands. I haven't read the list yet. Have you read the list?
I've read the list. The list is that Black Lives Matter, in the interest of an entire group of people, have said that Trump has to be banned from all social media forever.
Yes.
And barred from public office forever because
Yeah.
he is the most evil thing to ever have happened.
Sounds legit.
Exactly, because he is the evil emperor in Black Lives Matter schemes. Or, that guy in 1984 who they had to push out of the country and have the 5 minutes of hate against every single day.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
No, it's makes sense to me. It really does. Because I think that people forget. They tell us what they're doing. Mm-hmm. That they blame it on us and they say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're racist and whatever. It's really not the case. It's that these are all the things that they are, and they tell us by saying that we're doing it. It's like a little mind game, but yeah, no.
It is.
So the fact that they want Trump gone tells you how good he is, how much we should want him, because he is causing a lot of trouble. He
is. And I mean, some people are saying that, Trump shouldn't run and maybe it should be DeSantis. And I don't think no one can bring people together as much as Trump, even though he's such a divisive figure. And while I really appreciate what DeSantis is doing, well, what has he been doing? He's been a mini Trump.
Right.
He's even been taking on some mannerisms. It's like, well, I mean, okay, but
DeSantis is good, and I think that he would be a good running mate. Mm-hmm. Way better than Pence ever turned out to be. I liked Pence so much in the beginning, and then at the end, he was just useless.
He flubbed it, and it was really terrible. Disappointing.
That could have been his moment. He could have been Pence. Remember what Pence did? And now we're all like, oh, freaking Pence.
Exactly. Well, we all would have bought the T-shirt. It would have been awesome. Tears would have come down from our eyes. It would have been fantastic.
But no, the insurrection happened, and then they used it as an excuse to just move on with the nonsense that was going on.
Well, they
and it's still coming to light, even though they tried to make it not. So,
right, and putting anyone who was there in solitary confinement and not saying anything about the officer who shot Ashley Babbitt, and then saying that one of the people who died, the officers that died at the Capitol, had their head bashed in by a protester, and then months later saying, no, he had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, or did he have a stroke? I thought he had like 2 strokes.
Whatever. I believe you're right. I believe it was a stroke, but it was a medical.
Either way, it was a medical emergency. Nobody hit him in the head with anything. But facts don't matter. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't, whatever. Man, and I forgot to do the research, Ann. I wanted to look into the Supreme Court 2A case, and I totally forgot. Remind me for next week.
We'll work on it.
We've got to do it, because something's going on with that, and we need to talk about it. Mm-hmm. But I think that we've hit on all the stuff. We don't want to go too long. And we've got 1 thumbs down. I'm going to bet that it came from somebody while we were talking about COVID. What do you want to bet?
Well, we always get 1 thumbs down, and
Oh, so maybe it's just our troll.
Maybe it is, but I still, somebody shows up every week to do 1 thumb down for us, and I see you, and I appreciate the effort.
Dude, you sound like Obama right now. All the people who voted for me, and all you who didn't come out and vote for me, I see you.
Exactly. It's like, anytime that We do our show for all the people. Even the
those
one
of you,
guy who dislikes us every single week.
Thanks for coming, giving us views. We appreciate it.
That's right.
So, and to all the people who actually like us, thanks for coming.
Bigger thanks, but still thanks for everyone.
Oh, man. So, thanks for joining us. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all the other platforms.
All in the live chat too. Y'all look like you've been having a blast.
Yeah, sorry we didn't see it. The next time we do this, I'll try to fix it so that we can talk to you guys too. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so we'll figure it out. But thanks for coming. We'll see you guys soon, okay?
All right. Thank you.